Hi, we're gonna do a quick geared quick tip infusion here today. Somebody asked me how to line up a whole bunch of frame parts for a Prusa Mini. So we're gonna show you how to do that using my favorite tool in Fusion, the Align tool. I've already brought all the parts in we're gonna play with. It's kind of the bottom frame of a Prusa Mini printer. We're going to go through and kind of get them set up on the base, when I'm the bottom here, which is going to be the XY plane, and build them up into the Z-axis. So first thing we're going to do is line them all up, and then we're going to start using the Align tool to get them all put together in an assembly. So the first thing we want to do is actually kind of get them laid out in a better orientation. This is just how they came into the build space when I brought them in. So let's start at the front and move to the back. So let's start with this front guy. Let's just right click and move it and get it oriented closer to the way we want it. So we know that the front faces this way. So 90 degrees is good, except it's upside down. So let's give it a spin. And then we don't care about position yet. We're going to do the same with this guy. Move it. You can see that it kind of lines up this way with the front. So we're going to put this piece right here needs to go to the other side, 180 degrees, looks good. And then this piece also needs to line up, but we're going to do that a little bit in a minute. So first, let's put these down on the origin plane, just so they're kind of all starting out in the same spot. So this is the first time we're going to use the Align tool, which I have here in my toolbar. I use it so often, and it doesn't have a keyboard key assigned to it, so I put it up here in the toolbar. You can also go to Modify and Align. The first thing you want to do is select what you want to move. It's like the move point-to-point tool, where you select a point and then you select a destination. If you hover over, you get all your snap points. And you can pick a point, or if you just pick a plane without any points highlighted, it's going to just align that plane alone, which is what we want. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to align it down to the origin. Perfect. Not caring too much about where on the origin, we just want to kind of reference point. So I'm actually going to turn this off. We won't need it anymore. What we want to do is get these things kind of lined up now. So first thing I want to do is get these lined up on the same orientation for the Y rods. So let's grab the Align tool again. I'm just going to pick this circle or hold down Control, and it lets you pick any of the points here. I want to make sure I get that middle point. I'm going to do the same over here. Now they're lined up, but we don't want them touching, so we're going to just hit OK to that. Go back here, do another move, and just pull it apart, a ways apart for now. But we know they're lined up. So the next thing we want to do is put the little tensioner in there. And we got to figure out how that needs to live. And it fits in this piece here. So what we need to do is kind of get it closer. You can use the Align tool to flip and rotate a little bit, but I find it easier to get it close to where you want it starting out and then use the Align tool from there. So what we're going to do is rotate this way, but it looks like it needs to go this way. All right, so now we've got it kind of in the right spot. We got to figure out how we want to line this up exactly with this. So once again, this has two mounting holes here, where you put a square nut and a screw and a bolt in, and that bolt runs through these front holes on the frame. So the best thing to do here is to just line up those holes again. So Align tool, hover over the hole you want. You can grab either grab it like this or like this. It's going to do the same thing, because you see we've highlighted the front center point of that hole. And then we're going to bring it over here. Pops it right in place. Everything else is lined up. You look at it from the front, your holes are lined up perfectly. And we're going to actually do a capture position, because that is where we want that. Okay, first part in place. Now let's do the Y linear rods. So again, these are not in the orientation we want. We're going to hold down Control, select them both, hit Move Copy, because we know we're going to turn them both 90 degrees. Call it good. And then the Align tool again. And this is the other cool thing about the Align tool is you can do multiple aligns without actually closing the tool. So I grab that center point, coming back over here, zooming in so I can see it. And if you're having trouble figuring out which point it's going to go to, remember you can always hit the Control key to lock in the surface you're on, and then you can pick that point. And that drops it right on the center point there, center point to center point. Capture that position. But before we hit OK, we're going to do the same thing again. Now, I still have these 2 points selected. If I go down here to a fresh point, I can select that center point. It gives me a new from point, but it hasn't changed what we've done. So you can use this multiple times without hitting OK. And there we've just done 2. And Fusion is lagging. There we go. So hit OK to that with the capture position. So we're getting close. Now we want to bring that, actually let's wait. Let's do the side rails first. We're going to again Control click to highlight both of them. Right click, move copy. Spin them at 180. And here's something else we can do. You can notice if I don't spin them exactly, say I get them off by 10 degrees. Let's align a part that's not lined up properly to start with. So let's do that by hitting the Align tool and figuring out what we're going to align again. So here, I'm looking at these parts and I see that this has 2 mounting holes here. So mounting holes are always a great way to go for lining up parts because your mounting holes have to line up if you want the parts to work to begin with. So let's do that. So it looks like we're going to start with this one. Spin this around, grab the inside, and click right here. Oh, so it tried to line it up. It got the faces in the right spot, but this is where we need to do the flip. Oh, so it flipped it to the right angle or the right direction. Now we need to keep clicking angle until it spins around to where we need it to be. And that is how those 2 tools work to get things lined up. Then we can do the same thing again over here. My guess is we're going to probably have to go through the same process again, indeed. So we want to flip it, and then click on angle until it's in the right spot. And there we go. Capture position, done. Last thing to do is to put this piece up against here, and there is any number of ways to do this. Now we know that it already lines up with this rod, we just need the distance. But we can do that all again. You could use this hole, any of these holes, anything that needs to line up. But I am just going to do face to face, that face to that face without selecting any points, and it's going to pull it in. And it did it without changing any of the other dimensions. So now everything is lined up, ready to go. We have a Prusa Mini base all built. Thanks, guys. Hopefully this was helpful. We'll talk to you later.